Hi, this is me, and this is where I'm from. And these are the languages we speak there, which means I speak 3 languages, learned 5 at school, and since I'm a Gen Z who spends most of her time on social medias, I've been exposed to so many other cultures. Before I came to Canada, I used to live this life, but now I'm an international student who gets to live that life. And yes, I am still young. There are so many other lives I can live, places I can visit, cultures I can learn about. Being 20, entering the real world is scary, but mostly confusing. With all the bad things happening in the world, you're losing your innocence and you're opening up your eyes on all the atrocities and the injustice out there. It's hard to make sense of it all, but I'm actively educating myself in the hope that one day I'll understand. In Beverly Daniel Tatum's book, Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria and Other Conversations About Race, she explores the complexity of identity, particularly when it comes to race and its implications for individuals and society. Tatum talks about dominant groups, which are those that hold the most power in a given society, while subordinate groups are those who lack power. Individuals belonging to the dominant group have access to privilege and benefit, while the minority group is at relative disadvantage. The perception of self in subordinate groups, for instance here people of color, is really complex. They have to recognize and reject the negative stereotypes about their group, but it's not that easy. Othering is the root of most social issues. Othering is the act of excluding and oppressing people who don't possess mythical norm traits. Let's look at different traits of our identities. Race and ethnicity. When there's a form of othering, boom, it's racism. What about physical or mental abilities? If you're oppressed for a difference, boom, ableism. The phenomenon of othering has profound effects on individuals from subordinate groups. As someone who had a pretty diverse, multicultural background growing up, I've never felt like belonging entirely, like 100% to a group, which makes it very challenging to be comfortable with my identity. Madagascar became a French colony in 1896 before gaining its independence in 1960. Growing up in a country in which the legacy of colonialism definitely left lasting imprints on the cultural, linguistic, and educational landscapes seemed normal, but now with insight, it was in fact very confusing. Orientalism, as articulated by Edward Said, plays a pivotal role in understanding the dynamics of colonialism. Europeans historically perceived the world divided in two, the West and the East, the Occident and the Orient, the civilized and the uncivilized. This Eurocentric perspective was used to justify the colonization of uncivilized regions by civilized Western powers. Here again, another illustration of this power dynamic I was talking about. Moreover, the stereotypes perpetuated by society, particularly through the media, play a significant role in reinforcing these negative perceptions. Media has the power to shape public opinion and influence societal norms. Unfortunately, stereotypes persist. For example, the stereotype that Muslims are terrorists, or the portrayal of Black people as associated with gangs. There are so many other examples. These stereotypes contribute to the marginalization of entire communities. When people from subordinate groups are consistently portrayed in limited stereotypical roles, it becomes difficult for them to see themselves in a positive light. It can lead to really bad self-esteem, anxiety, insecurity. So media producers should really be mindful of the impact their work can have on shaping our society. And we all know how much place media is taking in our daily lives. These ideas from the media feed and enable institutions of power. People have identity consciousness and want to be more and have more. In a capitalist society, the pursuit of profit often aligns with the exploitation of identity consciousness. Advertisements and media outlets capitalize on people's desires to conform to certain beauty standards or societal norms. They are taking advantage of our insecurities. The article Capitalism, Where Do We Come From by Robert Hillbronner and Lester Thoreau discusses the nature of capitalism, which is closely tied to human behavior. In the capitalist system, the focus is primarily on making a profit through the production and distribution of products. The system encourages a behavior of always wanting more, as it leads to the accumulation of capital. For example, the media often promote a definition of beauty that aligns with dominant cultural norms. People of color, for example, may be urged to conform to these standards by using products like skin whitening creams, or Black women who feel pressured to strengthen their hair. And it all leads back to how greedy and unhappy our world is. All of these social issues, our capitalist society, consumerism, climate change, identity and mental health crisis, these could be seen as interconnected issues if we dig deeper to find the root cause of our society's downfall. At the end of the day, everything is wrong because of hate. If we truly cared for each other and loved each other despite our differences, society wouldn't be like this. If we didn't hate ourselves and our lives, we wouldn't be that greedy and manipulative and victims of consumerism, always wanting more. People wouldn't be in search of power. Yeah, I know, sounds like an utopia. As a Gen Z, I've seen on social media so many takes on the current state of the world. Some people have a lot of hope for the future, while others have just given up. We can't travel back in time and fix all the mistakes from the past. So, in my opinion, in order to navigate the world in a wise way, we should educate ourselves and educate the younger generation and care for each other. I used to think we could change the world. I'm not sure anymore, but I know we can always start with ourselves and the people around us, at least on our own scale. Encouraging a better representation in media, diversity, respect, and love.